Okay, thank you very much for being here today. Today we're announcing 16 indictments, the seizure of 550 pounds of drugs, a tremendous body blow to the Sinaloa Cartel. This has been going on for several months this year, the work of undercover operations from my office, the Imperial Drug Task Force, the District Attorney, and the Sheriff. This is really a cooperative effort in a very dangerous part of California, dealing with what is an increasing problem facing our society, and that is the continuing transportation of drugs into California. While there's not as many people in Imperial County, there's plenty of trafficking going on. And this effort, courageous, difficult, dangerous, has been very successful. And as you see the guns, you see the narcotics, all this is the result of a collaborative effort and some very determined work. And I just want to thank and praise all the officers that are responsible, and afterwards we'll take whatever questions you have.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for being here today. My name is Gilbert Otero. I'm the District Attorney for the County of Imperial, and I'd just like to give a brief overview as to some of the things that we've done here in Imperial County in terms of operations. Some of the building where we're at, we call this the Law Enforcement Coordination Center, and it's a HIDA funded building. And what it did, from this building, some of the largest drug investigation cases in the United States have originated from this place. Operation Imperial Emperor was the largest domestic DEA case ever. It originated out of this facility. We have a state case prosecuted by the Attorney General office out of San Diego. It was Operation Gangland. It dealt with the Mexican mafia who was taxing our local drug dealers here. And then we have Accelerator, which was another national drug case that generated from this facility. Our facility here is an example of the cooperation between state, local, and federal agencies. We do the work that we do here. I believe is matched by no other agency or no other county, and what we're a conduit to how the drug gets from Mexico to all the other areas, and I think that in terms of a police work and investigation, the agents and the line staff that we have here are second to none. And that's just this case here. Silver Fox is one of the many operations that come out of here, and is going to be one of the most successful. There's an ongoing prosecution on this case, and we just want to thank you for being here.
Good morning. My name is George Anderson. I'm the Director of the Division of Law Enforcement for the California Department of Justice. Actually, I wish to express my thanks and gratitude to the District Attorney Otero, Sheriff Loera, and the partnership that we have here at the LECC, which has been described already as a true example of collaboration between federal, state, and local agencies in combating drug trafficking organizations. And as you see by the evidence here that we have on the tables, this amount of narcotics, the weapons, the violence associated with those weapons, these are drugs that were destined for places throughout the United States and to Canada. Unfortunately, the California border is a primary thoroughfare for drug trafficking from Mexican cartels up into this country and into Canada. This operation was 8 months in length. It's ongoing. A very successful operation, which is, as the Attorney General has indicated, this has struck a blow to the Sinaloa Cartel, and we'll continue to work in partnership to continue these investigations. Briefly, this operation represents, like I said, a true partnership amongst all of these agencies. We will continue to send the message to the cartels. And what we need here is to strengthen our investigations and continue to look at additional resources. Imperial County and the border with Mexicali is a primary entry point. But I think through the partnership that we have here, the continued efforts and investigations, we'll continue to see more successes and continue to put pressure on these cartels to keep these narcotics and their violence from coming into this country. Thank you.
Any questions?
Just very briefly, my name is Ray Loera. I'm the sheriff for Imperial County. The District Attorney Otero said it very clearly. This is a partnership. This is something that is ongoing. Imperial County narcotics involvement with law enforcement is second to none. This is something that's ongoing. It's one of many of the cases that we've worked on together and been very successful at. So I just want to reassure the citizens of Imperial County that we are working for their benefit, and we'll continue to work in partnership with all other law enforcement agencies. Thank you.
Any questions?
Yeah, what can you tell us about this particular cartel?
Well, it's one of the major drug operators in Mexico, and they are responsible for these shipments that go on all the time, and it takes extreme courage and sophistication to stop them. And these shipments were uncovered. They were taken not just through Imperial County, but up through Riverside, Los Angeles, and in a number of cities. And they were tracked and trailed by agents from my office, as well as cooperating agencies. And the seizure and the arrests are quite significant, but it's a continuing battle. And as we know from the budget in Sacramento, there are attempts to cut back on the Bureau of Law Enforcement here, and it's quite challenging. If anything, a lot more manpower, a lot more equipment is needed right in this county, because this is really a choke point that is supplying the entire country. So in fact, there aren't all that many people in Imperial County relative to San Diego or Los Angeles. It doesn't take away from the fact that just below the border, there is tremendous amount of narcotics and narcotic traffickers, and they're working through this port of entry.
How big of a blow is this to the cartel, the Sinaloa cartel?
Well, as you can see, the number of people that have been arrested, indicted, the amount of weapons and narcotics we've seized, I call it a body blow. Are they still there? Yes, they're still there. And it's going to take more collaboration between the United States and Mexico. It's going to take more help from the federal government, and it's going to take a recognition on the part of state government that even though it's facing a fiscal crisis, it's even a greater crisis if we let down our guard and let these narcotics just flow into the state.
Of the 16 indictments, how many are in custody?
How many are in custody?
Heather, how many are in
Heather, are you? There's the prosecutor.
Heather Trapp now is our deputy district attorney who's been working on this case in the session. This facility is unique in that we have 4 deputy DAs assigned to this facility, and they work hand in hand with all the agencies here, state, local, and federal. And she's been handling the cases. She can answer any of the questions that deals with the actual indictment and who's in custody.
We have.
Can you say your name and spell it?
My name is Heather Trapnell. The last name is Trapnell. Currently, we have 8 people in custody. The Bureau of Narcotic Enforcement is continuing to pursue those who aren't in custody, and as you know, it's difficult because generally once they know that law enforcement is on their tail, many people will flee to Mexico or to other cities. Some of the people have been apprehended by the Bureau of Narcotic Enforcement, by Mr. Lamone's team, in various cities throughout California. Most of the prosecutions are just starting, and those will be continuing perhaps for years. These are lengthy court cases many times, but we'll continue to pursue it until each of these people is convicted and brought to justice.
What's the relationship, or is there any relationship between the 4 suspects who were caught yesterday by federal police in Mexicali to this organization?
I don't believe there's any, well, I don't know about that case. They may be linked to the Sinaloa cartel, which, as you know, is...
Banda Cartel is the last name of the leader.
I don't know that they're related to our suspects or not, but the cartel is very large, and there's relationships that I believe we probably can't even begin to imagine how many are linked.
Can somebody